We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Episode 4 with special guest Reese. Oh, what was that?
Sorry, I just wanted to ruin your podcast. Let me have it.
was that a real
No, it
one?
was just me blowing a raspberry.
That's what he says. It was me blowing a raspberry. Sure.
You'll never know. You'll live the rest of your lives wondering.
No, I won't wonder.
That was
You're lucky we don't have
fantastic
smell-o-vision.
I did mention that I ate those spicy chicken wings. Sorry, do your podcast. Hurry up.
You're
Get back to work.
Oh God.
bloody funny. All right. Okay, I got it. Oh, that was hilarious. Okay. All right, episode 4. Here we go. G'day, Hill Climb Racing 2 listeners, and thanks for tuning in for the 4th episode of the AUSNZ Community Podcast. Okay, let me catch my breath for a second, guys. It is the episode we have been waiting out for a few weeks, and it's finally here. What a cracking episode we have for you tonight. I'm so excited, I can hardly hold my nerves. Because HCR2 lovers, as you all know by now, our special guest for this week's episode is none other than the boss man himself. FS, or Fingersoft Rhys, is in the house. He will be joining us very soon. I'll introduce him very soon. But first, before we start, I actually want to thank Mori for stepping in our 3rd episode to cover for me, as I had some real life commitments to attend to. All as well. And so thanks very much, Mori, mate. I'm actually surprised I've still got a hosting job after such a fantastic effort that you conducted with Boulder as a special guest. So thanks, Mori. What a great show that was, and I had fun listening to it too, believe it or not. It was great. Okay, let's welcome our co-host to the show, as always. Welcome Pete, Eva, Alpha, and of course, Mori is going to be joining us for this very special episode. And wow, guys, what a treat we have tonight. Can you believe it? Reese is here. He's on our podcast, and he's going to be joining us soon.
Thank you very much, GTR. What a bloody big episode we have planned for you. It's all definitely a big surprise having such a big name in so early. Like, I can't believe it.
Oh, it's incredible. Eva, unbelievable, mate. How are you tonight, mate?
I'm doing well. Have had a crazy week or so, but glad to be here and glad to have the people around us that we have, and really looking forward to getting stuck into. I mean, just to ask Reese some nice questions and see how we go.
Beautiful. Alfie, how's it going,
Yeah, not
mate?
too bad, GTR. Just been playing Hill Climb the entire day.
I suppose you've wasted a couple of 100 gems on the round 3 of the Fingersoft GP.
I actually
mate.
didn't, because I had quite a lot of stuff to do that day, so I had no time.
Very good. Mori, good to have you here.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, you can't get rid of me now. After last time, I got a bit of a taste for it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great to host that, and it's been a lot of fun coming up to this podcast. The stuff we've been doing, in preparation for it, it's been quite good. It's good that Reese has actually bored out of his mind enough to come on our podcast.
Too right, mate. No, we're all looking forward to it. We've been pumped up for the last couple of weeks. Even keeping it to ourselves was a mission and a half. Trying to not tell anybody or let it slip within the server or anything like that. It was a mission trying to keep it to ourselves, but we did it and we announced it, and here we are. We're about to get him in. Right then. Let's not waste any time. Let's get the man in here himself. Let's get him to say a big warm g'day to us. It is with great pleasure to introduce Mr. Fingersoft himself. Well, maybe not himself, there's a few others, but the one and only, all the way from Oulu. Is that how you pronounce it? Oulu, Finland?
Mr. Fingersoft.
Just 170 kilometers south of the Arctic Circle. Officially, our first international guest on the show. It's FS-Rhys. Welcome, Reese, to the podcast.
Hi guys. Wow, what an intro. Sorry, I lost it at I was doing my best to sort of keep quiet throughout that. I just lost it at Mr. Fingersoft. It's a pleasure to be here as the apparent owner of Fingersoft from this point on. I really like how you called me boss man, by the way. You can continue to refer to me like that if you really want.
You and SJ.
You're the front man for it all.
Yes, me and SJ, we work together. And by the way, it's pronounced Oulu.
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 Thank you for
It's
that.
a softer O.
Well, very good.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with you tonight, boys.
The pleasure is ours.
Thanks, Reese. Yeah, pleasure is definitely ours. I'm not going to go at pronouncing that because I am terrible with names.
That's just Finnish.
Nah, the place you live, Oulu?
Oulu. Like, if you break it down, it's Oulu.
Oulu.
Kind of. Close enough.
Nah.
Yeah, look, we only speak English. We don't speak any other fancy languages. Unlike you, who I think speaks like a million.
Finnish is like literally Elvish. That's what Finnish is, the language that Tolkien based Elven on.
Wow.
Random fact.
So hang on, were you watching it when they were talking in Finnish and going, "Oh my god, I know what they're saying"?
No. He just copied like a lot of the words, approximated them, and apparently he like borrowed the grammar structure and stuff like that. I don't know. Read the Silmarillion or something.
I did, and I couldn't.
I'm sure there's a Wikipedia entry out there that'll help you out. But yeah.
I'll pass. I'd rather spend more time playing Hill Climb Racing 2, to be honest.
Yes, that's good. Do that.
Speaking of HCR2, let's get into some news, and Reese, you can chime in anytime you feel the need to,
yes.
mate. When we go for our little segments here.
HCR2, little game. Maybe you've heard of it.
Yep. Well, yes. Well, don't you worry. We bloody have heard of it. That's for sure. Now, just some news. Turkey, the top team from Turkey, has just recently been reset. Not sure how many bans have been confirmed, but there was one ban confirmed from Turkey, and that was ISO Carry. He was permanently banned by Fingersoft on the 24th of the 11th, and he was permanently banned. A couple of other bans. Our little Indian friend Ayan popped up with at least another 5-6 accounts, and all has been banned by Fingersoft after the Fair Play server has been reporting his activities to the support team, and all his accounts so far have been permanently banned. Right, on to the Fingersoft GP. Eva, take it away, mate. What a great start to the GP. Like the first round was incredibly difficult. Like I quite liked it, but it was not easy, and I don't know how I got through it. But mate, you want to get us started?
Yeah.
On the GP?
What can I say? It was one of those things. It was the first round was extremely terrible, but it was only followed by the second round, which was even more terrible, and the third round was just really hard. But in saying that,
Sounds like you need to get good.
in saying that, I must say the first round, as terrible as it was, I still strived to do well, and I still did reasonably well. I was pretty happy with my result. The second round is probably going to get stuck in my mind forever because it was Kanga.
That's right. Yeah,
I must
know.
say, you know, being the age that I am, I'm not going to say how old I am, but I'm older than 40. You know, the reaction time's not what they used to be. Having 3 rounds of Kanga was not fun, but the one thing I've been doing over the last 12 months since the last Fingersoft GP was working on my Kanga. So, you know, I was happy that it was there and I was happy that I was better at it. But I'm not looking at the events and going, damn, that was terrible. I'm looking at the events going, I'm glad they were hard enough that everybody had trouble with it, not just me. So I reckon in that
Very good
regard,
point.
I reckon they did a really good job. And I'm not saying that because Reese is on, but it helps.
You can say whatever you want because I have nothing to do with that.
No, that's not true, Reese.
That's
You do
all
have something
Velky.
to do with it.
And Velky is a bit of a sadist, I think. So she's really vicious when it comes to designing those difficult challenges.
That was the best thing about it. Everybody was saying about this, that, and everything else, and I looked at it and went, well, we're all playing the same game with the same settings and the same everything else. And if some of the bigger guys are saying, hey, this is really hard, well, hey, if I'm struggling, I don't feel so bad.
I can give you a bit of a behind the scenes if you want, because I do know someone who is helping out with this GP. If you've forgotten that, and it's not Reese.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't do much, no.
Part of what they've done is to try and equalize it, because if you run everything at max GP, then all the top guys, that's what they've been running for so long, that they know how to
Exactly.
run everything. Whereas pulling it back makes it really hard for things. Now, some of the stuff that they've come up with, I mean, even I've had a good laugh at the, you know, you're stuck in Australia and the dirt's gotten into your gear and the suspension now is not working. That was just a cracker.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
So yeah, but it is to equalize it by pulling everything back a bit.
I actually spoke to Velky the other day, and she was saying that like she's worried about running out of ideas, and I'm like, don't overthink it, you know, because the easiest way, like if you just make a track where everyone can go fast, everyone's going to be happy, you know. So any of this sort of extra thinking that you're doing is just like icing on an already good cake. You know, it doesn't have to be brain bending. It doesn't need a 10-page Wikipedia law entry, you know. But the fact that they go out of their way to do that, it's really inspiring, at least in my opinion.
Oh, it's good fun to be part of the process.
Yeah, you know what? It was lots of fun, and you know, like Eva was saying, you know, if the top guys are, some of them are struggling, you know, you don't feel so bad about your time.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And you know, like I was never going to be in the top 100, but I finished better than I did last year, by a fair few places, I might add, and I was happy with that. So you know, and that's all I can.
Does that have something to do with the amount of people that actually entered this year?
Oof.
You know, once we passed the top 1,000, it was getting into the top 400.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, let's be honest. You weren't going to beat
Yeah.
Linus.
No.
Like, so
Well,
you gotta sort of temper your expectations. It's good that you improved.
he's looking very, very good. I think he's won the last couple of tracks.
Linus
I think.
won the last
him and,
two
him
GPs.
Zorro's been up the top.
Zorro is.
I think Linus and Zorro are probably two of the best all-around hill climb racing 2 players. Like,
Yep.
if you sort of like judge someone by their like all-around skill, like some people are better at certain things, obviously, but I would definitely, like, if someone said like who's the best player at hill climb racing 2, I'd be like, Zorro, Linus, maybe even Vereshak, because he's like Vere's a genius at figuring out tune part combinations and stuff like that. Those videos that he puts out for the team events and stuff, he does that in like an hour or so after I give him the the game.
Yeah, like I've said this before. Like Linus, in my opinion, is the world's best player. There's no doubt about it. In all areas of the game, he's number one. Everybody would have their opinions on their own, but for me, he's the best player in the game currently at the moment. And I think by probably taking out the GP, if he wins the GP, that'll be proven, I guess. Wouldn't
He
it?
won last time.
No, Fly won last time.
I thought he won last
German
time.
Legends Fly.
I should know this.
No, he won the first time. He won
first time.
He won the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Fly from German Legends won the second GP.
I should know this.
Yeah. That's all right. Alpha, mate, do you have any stats or anything in regards to the GP or any records that have popped up in the last couple of weeks,
So I
mate?
was supposed to have some.
Oh, I don't know. Did you have any stats? Not specifically for the GP, mate, but anything that's popped up in the last 2 weeks and in regards to records? I think Eric got the 100,000 kilometer record on desert, didn't he?
Linus beat that.
Linus has just beaten that, hasn't he? He got 110 kilometers, didn't he? Yeah, okay.
He's about 11 times. And Eric has just beaten that again and got 113,000.
113,000. So they're pretty much going tab for tab. They're they're fighting it out, aren't they? Yeah. So I think somebody's going to go really, really far in one of those.
Hang on.
It's going to be practically impossible.
Now that we've got Reese on the line, so in one of those records, is it possible for Fingersoft to check if they hit pause for a toilet break in the hour they play?
Yeah, it is.
So you can check if someone hits pause and then comes back to the game.
Absolutely.
Oh wow. Okay,
that's very. I mean,
it's very easy. There's tons of different. We make the game. We see everything. We see every button you press. Yeah, lots of people think that they're real smart and they use like an auto clicker, and then they get banned and they're like, I didn't use no auto clicker, and then we're like, yeah, well, how did you manage to make 6,422 misclicks in 3 seconds? And they're like, woohoo. So yeah, we can see everything.
I'm not picking my nose anymore when I play the game.
It's not like we're going to ban you for hitting pause. I mean, there's a pause function in there.
Yeah.
We could take that away if we really wanted to.
Unless, of course, we pause using SOS to sort of tell you what we really think.
You could do that.
We use Morse code. We pause and use Morse code.
Someone beat Dark Souls using Morse code last week. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
No, I didn't.
Deathly silence. No one knows what that is.
Well, sorry. This is some nerd stuff then. But speaking of nerd stuff and stats, I actually have a few stats here regarding.
We did set you a task for that.
Australian stuff. Yeah, you did. The boys asked me to grab some random stats if I could about Hill Climb Racing 2 for the Australian crowd, and I did. I managed to bother our data scientists just a little bit. They're very busy people, but I got some stats for you. Would you like to hear them?
Beautiful.
Now, these stats are from the beginning of the year, and they actually don't include. They only go up to October. So November, which just passed, and now December are not included in this. Just for clarification, but. The total number of daily active users for Hill Climb Racing 2. I actually have stats for Hill Climb Racing 2 and 1, so I can share them because we sort of combine these stats whenever we talk about the Hill Climb Racing brand. It's pretty common to do, and most users sort of go between both. But anyway, the daily active user count for Hill Climb Racing 2 in Australia is 16,000. And for Hill Climb Racing 1, it's 14. So that is a combined total of 30,000. So on any given day, 30,000 people in Australia are playing Hill Climb Racing at some point. And the daily new users is about 2,500. These are sort of approximations. And like total active users, like as in people who actually play the game is 1.1 million.
Oh,
And that means that about 1 in 25 people that you pass in Australia plays Hill Climb Racing.
That is absolutely incredible.
Mm.
I'm speechless. That is. I would not have thought that many people would be
Oh
playing
man,
the game.
Hill Climb Racing is the world's most popular racing game. We have more than
It absolutely
we have more
is.
than 50 million monthly active users. So across the world, more than 50 million people play our game at least once a month, and we are creeping up now on 2 billion downloads worldwide. We passed 1.9 a month or two ago, and we'll probably hit 2 billion by around March. Yeah,
Incredible.
it's pretty amazing.
looking forward to the gift from Fingersoft at that time.
Oh yeah, we have big plans because it happened really coincidentally because next year is our 10-year anniversary. So it's going to be 10 years and 2 billion downloads. That's crazy. That obviously there's people who've downloaded the game multiple times, but that's just such an insane amount.
No individuals downloading it 100,000 times, though.
Exactly, right? Like it's nuts. It is crazy and humbling how popular our silly little 2D racing game is. It just sort of seems to touch something that is universally enjoyed by people, I guess. And we are really thankful that we have such a great audience like you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's brought us all together.
Exactly, right?
So,
that's why I'm here. Like, I saw that you guys were having this little podcast that was like this group of Australian and New Zealand players that had come together, and I was like, I got to be a part of this. I want to get involved. It's fun. But I actually have a couple of little random facts that the data scientists pulled out. I didn't ask them to, but they just pulled these weird facts out. So I'm gonna read them out to you.
Well, that's what they do.
So the dune buggy and the rotator are 10% more popular in Australia than the global average, and the bus is about the same, less popular than the global average, which is very disappointing.
The bus is a terrible vehicle.
Given it's your favourite one.
I'm leaving this podcast right now. I take back anything nice I said about any of you.
The rotator, I take responsibility for that. That's
the bus is the best vehicle in the game.
How do you use Kango on the bus? It just breaks apart.
Get good, man.
It still breaks apart.
That's the point. You got to break the bus tactfully, because breaking the bus changes the speed and aerodynamics of it.
Yep.
But,
that's what's so bad about it.
Nah. You're just bad, man.
Good.
You're just
nice
bad.
and predictable. It takes off quickly.
But hold on, I got some more. This is actually a Hill Climb Racing 1 fact, but in Hill Climb Racing 1, the beach level is more popular outside of Australia, but the Seasons map is more popular there than the global average.
Seasons map was really good, though.
Wow.
That was my favourite on the Seasons map was the monster truck. You could go for miles on that thing. It was like the road map with the old diesel. You could get a million coins in one run.
Yeah.
So Seasons was good, and Beach was I don't know. Didn't like Beach.
The most popular map in every region is the Moon, for obvious reasons. In Hill Climb Racing 1, that is. Only OGs will understand.
Yeah, that's how you made your money. With the motocross. The motocross and doing flips. Yep.
Exactly.
I restarted Hill Climb Racing 1 4 times because I'd swapped phones and I couldn't get the account data across on the early versions. I can't remember whether I didn't have an account set up or something like that. I thought it was my fault, not your fault. I'm not blaming you.
It might have been either one. It's hard to say. The game's been around for 10 years, so...
Yeah, I rebuilt that account 4 times over 4 different devices over 4.5 years. And then there was this announcement Hill Climb Racing 2 is coming out, and I just went, I'm there.
We all were. It was HCR2 coming out. Like it's been an incredible journey. I think it's been 5 years, Reese, has it?
This will be the 5th year. Next year will be the 5th year.
Yeah.
It's really good.
What's amazed me the most about Hill Climb Racing 2 is every time I'm about to put the game down, you guys bring out something else, and it makes me pick the game back up.
It pulls you back
That's
in.
the
again.
idea. We aim to be the best. We are a small team, obviously, but we basically make the game we wish we could play. So we're always adding stuff to try and make you guys not get bored. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you swing and you miss. Sometimes you hit a home run. But yeah, basically we're always trying to keep things fresh and interesting.
You got to Australianise that. You hit it for 6.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes,
My
that's
bad.
right.
I've been overseas too long.
Pete, just before we move on, Pete, do you have any comments you want to say on the current public event and team event before we go on to Reese's questions and a few other things?
Oh no, not the current one. I was just going to mention the Moon one. In like the Moon public event, the track 2 was in the current team event at the time. It was just good to get a practice line in. And if you didn't have your bus thrusters, you're pretty much no good, because that was the what do you call it? Always winning. That was the winning combo. Bus thrusters. My ult didn't have bus thrusters.
Yeah, that was in the previous team event, wasn't it? Where we had the moon. Yeah, I think they bring out a moon event every 3 public events, or 3 or 4,
Once
something
a month,
like that.
man, when it's full moon.
Yeah, well, it's the only way to get the Moonlander in the vehicle, so they have to keep bringing it back.
Yeah, we
That's right,
time
yeah.
it with the full moon. At least we try. But yeah, it's the only way to get the Moonlander, so we have to keep it in cycle, basically.
That's right, because you get new players creating new accounts, and they want to get the Moonlander vehicle, and it's the only way to get it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Although we have been thinking a while, like, should we give a better way to get the Moonlander, because it's like only having this one way to do it. But for most people we talk to, they kind of like the idea that it's kind of a secret vehicle. It's like a cool thing to finally get when you first start out. Like, you sort of look forward to somehow unlocking the Moonlander.
Yeah,
It's a great introduction to the public events as well. I know when I was starting, I didn't bother doing the whole lot until I saw the Moonlander, and then I went, oh, there's more at the end.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And it's not really a competitive vehicle, except in some really rare cases. So it's like, it's just a really cool sort of reward, and that sort of gets you involved and lets you. And the Moonlander's got some funny tricks to it as well, and it's just a fun vehicle to unlock. But we're always thinking about how we can change the first time user experience, as they call it in the biz.
It's competitive in the hands of me.
Yeah, I was going to say Alpha's pretty good with it.
It's definitely not bad. Some of the best times in the world come from using it. Like, it's situational, I would say. It's very fun. I run cups with it every now and again just because it's so fun to drive.
Speaking of the Moon events, just real quickly, is there any works to have a new public event on the Moon, or are they just going to keep recycling?
Well, there's always works for new things all the time.
They're just the Moon events. They haven't had a new Moon public event for a while.
What do you mean by new event?
talk-
You mean like a new?
Are you
event
talking
type?
about the Pete? Yeah, you talking about the type of
Yeah,
event,
like
like in
the
regards to what they.
Like,
like
it's
we-
always just a long jump or spin tricks one, or just the same sort of deal. Is there any sort of works going into a new one? Something different?
I tell you what, I was actually disappointed that the recent public event in regards to the 2K time trial didn't have a moon event on it. Didn't have a moon map on it. Sorry, because that was lots of fun having a moon map on the 2km, so the 2 kilometer time trial. That was because you just launch whatever vehicle you're in, and it just flies, and it glides and glides and glides.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're always thinking of new kinds of events and new types. But how can I say this? It's difficult to sort of balance the expectations of people who've been playing the game every day for years versus the expectations of the vast majority of people who are fairly new. And so what is irritating and repetitious to you might actually just be because you've played the game for 6 months, whereas most people who are fairly new to the game or fairly casual will only see those certain things maybe once a year, and they'll be like, "Ooh, this is interesting." So, yes, we are working on new stuff all the time, but also, yes, we will continue to recycle things because they're actually pretty new to most people. But we have a lot of ideas about the moon. The problem is the moon very easily breaks the game. Motocross flips, infinite money. That's why when we finally brought the moon event, the moon adventure map, it was with special tickets because it would just obliterate the game's economy. It's just unsustainable, and you get this horrifying sort of power creep. I mean, if you're a new player to Hill Climb Racing 1, it's actually really daunting because everything costs millions and millions and millions of coins because everything's hyper-inflated because of the moon. We wanted to avoid that in Hill Climb Racing 2 very much.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I actually never played Hill Climb Racing 1, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, basically, in Hill Climb Racing 1, there was an... I don't want to call it an exploit because it wasn't. But basically, you can just run the moon. We have like a moon adventure map. You can run it freely. And if you took the motocross, which is like a really cheap early vehicle that flips really quickly, much like it does in Hill Climb Racing 2, I suppose, but even more so, you could just like sit in place and endlessly do flips, and you would just generate tons and tons and tons of money. So that broke the economy. And so and that happened like 8 years ago or so. And so in the preceding years, we've had to add stuff, with the understanding of what people have, like how much money people are spending, like the economy balancing is really complicated in video games, especially online ones that keep getting updated. So like basically everything is getting more and more and more and more expensive. But if you're new to the game and you log in, it's like, oh God, how could I possibly make this much money? But that's always going to happen when the game is, 10 years old, and you have to balance the expectations of people who've been playing for 10 years versus the new. It's always a bit of a give and take.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point, mate. Before we get stuck into the questions, Reese, mate, do you want to just tell us a bit about yourself? Just what you do and where you're from, and just tell us a bit about yourself before we get stuck into some more serious questions.
Well, yeah, I live in Oulu with the rest of Fingersoft. That's where our headquarters is. We do have a secondary office in Helsinki as well, which is the capital of Finland. And I'm the community manager, so I manage the community, which is you guys. If you're interested about what I actually do, it's a lot. Obviously, I help run the Discord, but basically I just sort of manage my glorious moderator team, whom without I could not exist. I know you guys are listening. Much love. Please don't leave me. And I also run. Oh, by the way, this is all prefaced. I have a partner, SJ, so we do everything together. He joined the team this year, thankfully. But anyway, so I run all the social media, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, that sort of thing. And we make all the posts there, and we plan the art that we use for any of the announcements or any of the social media posts. And like the community manager is the voice. I'm like the go-between, I guess you could say. I'm like the voice of the company, but I'm also the voice of the player base to the company. So when the company wants to say something to the player base, they go through me. And I make the announcement or the statement or the apology or the whatever is necessary. And I also am in charge of when you guys want to talk to the company, you come to me. So I collect all of your feedback. I keep an eye open for things like the server going down or like really common bugs popping up or really common complaints, really common requests, yada, yada, yada. And I pass those on to the devs in a way that they can actually read, because they don't got time to read the random internet noise of 50 million people. So yeah, that's my primary job, and I also do a lot of other stuff inside the company as well. Just because we're a small company and we wear lots of hats. You probably hear that if you work in a smaller company, but basically it means that we do stuff that's sort of quote unquote outside our job description. Like the other episode I was listening in, one of you guys commented on the name of an event, and when one of you was like, "Who comes up with these names?" Well, that's me. I have named every public event, every team event, every level, every character. Basically,
So it's your fault.
every cup, everything is me when it comes to the names.
That was actually one of my questions.
Do you ever face palm after you've done it? Like go, oh, I'll give it this name. Oh, why did I do that?
No, zero regrets. The more pain it causes you guys, the better. The only time I ever feel a bit bad is when I make a reference to something, right? And I'm like, I love this thing. Basically, everything in this game is full of pop culture references. You guys probably understand this. And almost every event, almost like team event, public event, or every cup, everything is a pop culture reference in some way. Like I overthink about this stuff. And so I'll make a pop culture reference that I think is really obvious. And then like I'll get a whole bunch of kids on Discord being like, I don't get it. And I'm like, oh God, I'm old. But that's the only time it ever hits me.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so I do that. So I name all the things. I do a lot of copywriting, help with grammar because I'm originally from Australia, which is why I'm on the podcast. I wanted to show the Australians some love. I haven't been back to the home country in a very long time, but that's where I was born and raised. And yeah, I do all kinds of stuff. I even help with playtesting and give feedback and ideas and just lots of random stuff. That's me.
It must be nice.
Yeah.
It must be nice to be at work and be able to hop on HCR2 and not get looked at, frowned upon for being on it.
Get on my level. I get paid to play video games. I actually will get into trouble if I don't play enough.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Wow, there you go.
like for example, we have some games in development, and these games in development need to be tested. So, because if it's not fun for us, then it's not going to be fun for anybody. If someone makes a new level in one of these new games, we need to play it. We can't just make something and throw it at you. And if no one plays it, everyone's going to be like, "Oi, someone needs to test this stuff." we are a small company. I keep saying that, but we only just got to 100 employees, like almost 4 years ago now. When I joined the company, I was the 55th. So we've grown a hell of a lot in these last couple of years.
Incredible. Alpha, mate, you got a question for Reese?
Yes, I do. I have two actually. So the first one is, will there ever be fixed part team events? And the second one is, in the patch notes for the recent update, automated matchmaking was mentioned. How will this work for inactive teams?
Okay, so the first question, maybe. We talk about this a lot. Like, how can I explain this? When it comes to public events, we can do whatever we want. Like, you guys probably played the recent one, which was like with all the gas cans that makes you go super, super fast. Like that. That's
one of my favorites.
It's really, really fun, but it breaks the game. It's, if you think about it from like a game design perspective, it's terrible. But man, it's fun. Like there's just some things that are just stupid, dumb fun. And we can put any and all those crazy, dumb ideas into team events because we don't really... team events are like a casual kind of thing where everyone sort of comes together and has a bit of fun together in a lobby, But team events is where things get sweaty. We want you to... Like, this is the get good area, Like, it's the Dark Souls of... Oh, I can't believe I made that meme. But anyway, it's where we want you guys to actually try really hard. And that's why the team events are often really, really difficult, because that's by design. And when it comes to that, we also don't want to restrict you guys too much. because yes, if we made if there was fixed parts and fixed vehicles, it would even the playing field, but it would also restrict your creativity and your sort of ability to sort of for the best, because part of being the best isn't just having the best reflexes. It's being able to actually come up with the best usage of cars, tunes, and parts, and marrying all of those sort of things together. It's not just about being good, you also have to be smart. And if we take away the smart part, are you really the best? And the answer is probably no. So it's one of those things that we're not really sure we want to tinker with too much, because we consider the building meta part of skill. And for your second question,
you mentioned team events getting sweaty. That's the thing. Do you actually expect people to get so serious about it?
No. No.
Yeah.
We expected you to get serious because we were serious. When we were playtesting, by the way, I'll come back to your question if I haven't forgotten you, but tangent time. When we were playtesting the Teams mode, before it went live, we were all sitting in a room together and we all just started yelling at each other, swearing and cursing and shouting and cheering and because we were just, it was like playing Mario Party when you're a kid, it was just really fun multiplayer. And we started getting really serious, trying to beat one another. And we're like, this is great. We knew we had a winner, it was just immediately fun. But we did not expect you to be this serious. The dedication of you guys blew us away. Not only do you guys play so ridiculously well, oh my god, but we did not expect you guys to sort of create this gigantic hill climb racing Discord diaspora of people, of small communities that sort of, each team has its own server and they have their own mini community and subculture, and it's been incredible. The reception is far beyond anything we have expected, and we have actually sort of struggled to keep up with you guys because you're so crazy about this game, and it's wow. And so we're doing our best to sort of scale up. That's why we keep hiring more people, so we can give you more things faster. But yeah, that's part of the reason why. And about Alpha's other question, if you're inactive, you're going to get dropped. End of question. And that's by design. But yeah, automated matchmaking is something we can go into either now or we can bring it up later. I don't know if you guys have any more questions about that, because it's an upcoming feature. Do you want me to go into it now, or do you want to wait?
There was a lot of questions. A lot of them were, how do you fix this debacle? And some of them were a bit more question-like. But yeah, there was a lot of interest in the matchmaking and how it actually all is going to work.
Okay. Well, basically, I guess I can just outline it to you now because no one really knows. This is a scoop for you guys. But basically, we're going to begin by... We understand that there is a huge problem with what you guys call sharking. See, this is another one of those things we just didn't expect you to take it this seriously. People start matchmaking in shifts to try and game the system to get better win-lose results. That's just nuts. So... we're going to bring in a system of automated matchmaking. And this is going to be in beta because this is actually really difficult. Making games is hard, and especially making matchmaking algorithms is very difficult. So we're going to start with the CC division because this is where the problem is the most obvious, and it's also where we'll get the best feedback about this sort of stuff, right? Because the CC division is, the best of the best and the most active of players. So it's if it works and if everything comes together, then we can decide if we want to keep it to CC only or if we want to expand it to other divisions. We're not sure yet. It's definitely going to be a work in progress thing. But anyway, basically what's going to happen is matchmaking will be automated. So there is some sort of skill-based matchmaking that's to do with your scores and your win-loss ratio and that sort of stuff. So it should match you with a team that's approximately the same skill as yours. I have to use words like should and approximately because you can never be sure. And also the skill disparity within the CC division is pretty crazy. The top 10 are like, woo, compared to the bottom of the division. The divisions themselves might even get some reworking later on. You know, this game it evolves, it changes.
I just want to give a shout out to our AUSNZ team, mate. We finished 15th for the first time in history. It's our highest ever ranking in regards to last season. So well done, boys. Top effort. It was a mighty effort, mate. We finished 15th.
Amazing. Good job, guys. But yeah, what I was saying was basically, so yeah, it's as simple as that. Matchmaking will match you with a team that is approximately the same skill level as yours, and you will have no choice but to play them. If you don't play, that's an option, but you will lose and you will be deranked. That's just how it is, and that's basically how it's planning to go.
If you're playing CC division and you're losing every match and then you get dropped to Division 1, does it refresh? Like, because you've lost your whole season, you'll be playing against other teams in Division 1 that have also lost? Or does it refresh every season?
Well, you mean as in like the whole win-lose ratio kind of matchmaking thing?
Yeah, the matchmaking.
I don't believe so, no. I'm not sure yet. I don't even know exactly how the devs plan to do this. This is very complicated. But I would assume not. I mean, where there is some sort of algorithm, there will always be ways to manipulate that algorithm. You know, you can manipulate your Google search results if you know what you're doing. That's why SEO is an entire profession now. That stands for search engine optimization. And any good company who works online has SEO professionals whose job it is to manipulate Google search results in that company's favor. So some degree of manipulation from very clever people is inevitable. It just cannot be fixed. But basically, if you are in the CC division, you want to win. You want to be up there. You're playing for the prestige. Most people in CC have max GP. You know, they're playing for the competition. They're playing for the gameplay, you know? So if you're just manipulating your results for rewards, then you're not really playing the game to have fun anyway. So what can we do? You know, that if you want to, some people choose to derank themselves all the way down to bronze just for the lols. You know, it's if they want to do it, they can do it.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge is if a team gets reset mid-season, that means that the matchmaking will be lopsided. But in that case, at least at the moment, the working idea is what we think is pretty fun because we store everything that you do. You know, the whole game has ghosts and everything. Is that you could, if you were matched against a team that got zeroed, then a cool, fun thing to do would be to have you race the ghosts of champions past, and have you race against former teams from the Hall of Fame's like run, basically.
So their ghosts will still be active, regardless of whatever division they're in. So you're saying that with this new ghosting mode coming in the system, their ghosts will still be in even if they get reset.
Well, I mean, yes. If your team gets reset, that your ghosts are still in the system. But if you're banned, then we don't use them. Like a team reset is very different to a ban. If you're banned, you're just outright deleted from the leaderboards. Like if 10 people on a team of 50 cheat, those 10 get punished, but the other 40, their accounts are fine. That's why teams get reset instead of just outright deleted, because, you know, we can't very well punish everybody who's not guilty. So like if you're in a team that has had cheaters, that means that team's position on the leaderboard is invalid because it reached that position through cheating. So the team has to be reset. You can choose then to stay in the team and bring it back up to a position that it deserves without cheating, or you can go to a different team. But you yourself are not punished in a way that you're banned unless you actually cheat yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't like cheating.
Nobody does.
We know you don't, mate, and we know you're out there to get them. As is the Fair Play server as well. That's a shout out to my boys. We're all against cheating and fairness to play. We strive for it every day, mate. We don't like cheaters, and we do everything in our power to stop the cheaters of the world getting that extra
Yeah,
advantage.
so do we. It's a cat and mouse game, and I wish they'd just stop. Just have fun, guys. Seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Just talking about leagues, Reese, just going on from leagues.
He was saying what they can get away with.
Yeah.
Just going on from leagues, do Fingersoft have any future plans in regards to the update and the system of leagues and the structure of leagues? We see teams getting promoted, demoted each month like a seesaw, and it's kind of like a continuous cycle. How will Fingersoft improve the league system? Are there any future plans to do so? As in regards, for example, could we split up the CC division in regards to like Harvard, like have top 50 teams will be the CC division, and the next 50 teams is now going to be Division 1, or the top 32 will be CC, and then the last remaining will be Division 1.
Well, yeah, sure. We always have plans to change everything. I mean, you guys said it yourself. You know, the game now is completely different to what it was 5 years ago. It didn't even launch with Adventure. It was only Cups. Like the game is continuously changing. So we always have plans and ideas of ways that we can improve things. But do we have concrete plans to change anything yet other than what we have set? No. But there are tons of plans that are like work in progress. Do not expect leagues to be the same in the years to come. You know, it will grow, it will change along with the game itself.
Yep.
Nothing
Beautiful.
in this game is considered fixed except for Bill. He's not going anywhere.
Bill and Mate Brotbo, he's not
I
going.
want to know who is Kerberos and can I be his friend?
Well, you'd have to ask Cerberus that yourself, but he's not very talkative right now. He's he's in development. Although, to give you a serious answer, we're having our own bot made for the server. It's being programmed by the very talented Solus, and hopefully it will be our one-stop shop for all of our bot needs in the future.
My cousin says he doesn't talk much either.
No, he's very quiet.
Eva, do you have any questions, mate, for to start off?
I've got one of my own actually.
Hit me.
I have been listening to the blow-off valve sound, and the more I listen to it, the more it echoes in the toilet, because I start the game up in the toilet a fair bit. It's a long story. But the more it echoes around the toilet, the more I think I'm hearing the words Fingersoft as it's going...
It's the turbo flutter, right?
Yeah, the turbo flutter, yeah.
Yeah, so there's actually a really funny story to do with that. See, the history of this company is long. It's 10 years old, which is not that long for most companies, but it's like ancient when it comes to video games, right? And this company, for those who don't know, was founded by one man. His name is Tony Fingersoft, and Fingersoft, haha, that's where the name comes from. He basically founded this company in his bedroom. It's the whole, I made a company in my mother's basement, but in Finland we don't really have basements. But anyway, so he just started this company on his own because he just loves to make stuff. He's always been making video games since they existed, basically, since he could program. And he made Hill Climb Racing 1 on his own. And as the game grew, he hired a couple other people, and I think basically around launch, the Hill Climb Racing team, Fingersoft, was like 5-6 people, and it stayed that way for a long time. It was nobody expected this funny little physics game that he made to blow up like this. Like, it was just what he won the lottery in many respects. So anyway, when Tony was making this game, he didn't have any sound effects. He didn't have any money, so he used placeholders, and the placeholders that he made were Tony himself recording in a microphone. Those kinds of vroom vroom noises, crash noises, right? That was just him. And of course, the turbo flutter, like him making that noise. And what you hear when you boot the game is that recording of Tony making the turbo flutter sound from the original build of Hill Climb Racing 1 ran through a synthesizer.
That is very cool. That is extremely cool.
Right? We really wanted to have, like, when we redid because we changed our logo a couple of years back, and that was like a huge process. Took a very long time. We were never really happy with it. We kind of looked like a company that makes like fax machines or something. It was a very boring logo. We wanted to make the logo more fun and more cartoony. We make cartoon racing games. The logo should look like a company that makes cartoon racing games, you know? And when we did that, we're like, we got to have like a cool animation so that people see the new logo when the game boots up. Gives people, you know, this is a game by Fingersoft, and any game by Fingersoft in the future will sort of open up. If you've played a game by Supercell, you probably know their little jingle as well. We did that, and we were like, what is this? What sound is Fingersoft? You know, like what can we possibly do? What do we make a little jingle, a little sound? Like what is us? And then of course we're like, well, cars. We do cars. And then, you know, and so we just sort of turn this idea over and over and over again in the marketing department, and eventually someone had the genius idea, sadly it wasn't me, to use Tony's flutter, like turbo flutter sound, ran through a synthesizer, and we got that made, and the rest is history.
There it is.
So it's not someone saying Fingersoft, but that is a happy accident.
Well, I'm going to draw a bridge from that to, I actually have now liked the page, the Instagram page, and I was going to talk about your release picture that you posted in the Fingersoft server, in the Discord Fingersoft server. The new release, the updated release.
Oh, right.
There was two back to back. One of them had Bill's silhouette on it, and then the other one said the new update was rolling out, and it had this overspill, fun rig, etc. But I look at detail. I'm a detail person, right? And below the taped on poster, it says MK1 plus Kanga forever in a big love heart. And then on the release one, someone's put a no kangaroo sign over the love heart.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, is this new adventure track, is it going to be something we can't Kanga?
It is going to be difficult to Kanga, actually, but that is not what we were trying to say. That is all me. I was just trying to make a funny joke.
Okay.
There is really no deeper meaning to that. If you look elsewhere, you'll see that there's a 2 is greater than 0 symbol. That is an ancient Discord meme from a time way back when we had an offer, and there was like an error in the offer, and many people simply got 2 gems instead of the skin that they were supposed to get. And people were complaining, and me, in my infinite stupidity, I said, well, 2's better than 0. And that became an instant meme. so we, I'm never going to let it go. And people keep bringing it up all the time. So I snuck that in there. And if you look at any of the art, I take great pleasure in hiding all kinds of little Easter eggs and in-jokes and stuff in them. I really annoy our marketing artists. They're incredibly talented. But I'm always like, no, I want this here and I want that there. And they're like, what does this mean? I'm like, shh, no questions, just do it. And let's just say that 2 image progression, it's not done yet.
Okay.
There is a third.
There's a third.
The update's only rolling out now.
Yes.
Although, wait, when's this podcast coming out?
Podcast is probably going to be edited on Sunday, released either Sunday night or Monday.
Okay, so if it comes out on Monday, then you have 1 day to go before global rollout, and then you'll see the last picture there.
Yep, perfect. Perfect.
Oh, but speaking of kangaroos, this is a little scoop again for you guys, but we may or may not be including some Australian fan service next year around Australia's special day that may or may not evoke that animal.
You're specifically talking about Australia Day next year.
I am not specifically saying anything.
Interesting.
Yeah,
right.
You can interpret that how you want.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've interpreted the way we think we want.
Hey, it works for me. I'm out here dodging questions.
Nah, cool.
Pete, mate, you're up. You want to ask the next
Keep 'em
question,
coming.
Reese?
I'd like to know how many pit crew do you have, and do you have anyone in mind to be next?
I think we have about 30 now, all told. I should know this because I just sent out like a huge collection of packages to everybody who's in the pit crew. You can probably, if you're curious, actually, Eo and I made a video unboxing the swag kit that we made them, just for funsies, a show of appreciation for all the good that the pit crew do. So yeah, I think there's about 30 of them. And no,
Yeah.
actually,
I did
absolutely
see
nobody.
one of them.
Really? Who?
Watcher, I think it was.
Oh, you saw
He's-
his thing? I thought you were going to suggest somebody.
Yeah, he sent a picture of.
'Cause you mentioned you had someone lined up.
Well, yeah, I thought you might have had someone lined up, and I reckon that Mori might be a good option.
That sounds like a terrible idea. Let's do it.
Oh, come on, Reese. Why not do it?
All right then. You sold me. Why not?
In all honesty, I really have to say, like, I couldn't talk up our dad any more than I can, mate, because Mori's the father of AUSNZ pretty much, and I just want to say that he's more than a
Can
great
I-
candidate.
can I interrupt
There is
you?
a next pick for coming in.
I really want to interrupt you
Yep,
because
go
I'm
for
just
it.
screwing with all of you guys. You see, Mori is really good at keeping a secret. He's already in the pit crew. This is the official announcement, but welcome to the pit crew, Mori, as of about a month ago now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, this is the.
Congratulations.
We wanted to officially announce it here, but yes, Mori is now a member of the pit crew. It's long overdue. Thank you for all that you've done. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Have you got your package yet?
No, it actually arrives on Monday.
Okay, good.
I've been getting the messages to say it arrives, but no, it was quite cool when I got that message for you, and you actually asked me, "Oh, would you like to do this?" or something along those lines, and it's like, yes.
I can't just say, "Oi," like sign this NDA and give me all your personal details. That's not how it works.
Well, I don't think you'd get too many people turning down pit crew.
No, it's never happened before. But I have to give them the option. But yes, welcome aboard. It is good to have you. I have big plans for the pit crew. It's been really rough with COVID and everything, not just for me, but for everyone all over the world. But it really sort of put the brakes on a lot of plans that I had for the pit crew and for events and whatnot. But now that things are sort of getting back to normal in Finland, I've sort of applied the accelerator again, and you are the first of hopefully many more, and hopefully we can do a bit more than just a bit more cool stuff along the lines of the swag bag that SJ and I made. We worked really hard on those. I hope you enjoy it. We're really proud of what we made there. It took a long time. The very talented art team here helped design all the cool pit crew logo and stuff like that, and yeah, more to come.
Just on that, Reese, if you want to give any shout outs to your team or any Fingersoft staff.
Oh, they're not
in
listening.
particular, mate, by all means, go for it.
Actually, that's not true. I quite often share these kinds of things, and a few of them do listen in. I know SJ's listening. What's up, dude? SJ sits across from me, so this is going to be really awkward.
Massive shout
When you
out to
hear this,
SJ.
SJ, just flip me the bird for no reason. I'll understand. Everybody at Fingersoft is amazing. It is the coolest collection of people I know. Everyone is... We're all very much alike, but we're all very different. Everyone is super talented, super creative, very... Just best in class when it comes to their jobs. Everyone from like the artists who draw the marketing art the stupid memes that I asked them to the guys who actually make the skins and the guys who design the levels, and like there's one team member who you guys should know and probably hate. you probably have a love-hate relationship with him, and that's Andy. And Andy he designs all of the team and public events himself. So they're all his babies. And yeah, just everybody. Even the people who work in finance and the people who clean the building and keep all the lights on and stuff, like, they're all very important.
Yep, well said, mate. Mori, mate, do you have any questions? Now you're up next.
No, well, I mean, I'm pit crew now. I can ask him off.
Yeah, you're better than these lesser people we're surrounded by. You don't have to speak with the peasantry.
That has been one, like, because since the last GP, when I brought in the bot to help out with it, I got so many pings of like, oh, you should be this, when is it going to happen? And I'm like, it's not something you ask for. You don't ask for it and it doesn't happen. And so then, it came up, and then even at the start, before we started this, I was trying to, we were trying to get GTR to even talk about Pit Crew. And he was like, oh no, I won't talk about it because here's what I think, but I won't bring it up. And so I had to message Pete just to ask a question about the bloody thing.
You cheeky little bugger.
I would have just announced it out of nowhere if it had somehow gotten all the way through.
Funny. I guess I'm up, mate. Before we'll go for maybe one or two more rounds of questions from us, and then we'll get stuck into some viewer questions,
sounds
mate.
Good.
But this will be my last question. Mine's a two-parter.
Right.
After the success of HCR1 and of course HCR2, are there any plans to release and develop a new HCR3 game? And if so, are you able to give a rough estimate on that release date? Second part, if a new HCR3 game was developed, would Fingersoft look to expand into the console market, such as PS5 or Xbox, or any various gaming computer apps and stores on the computer?
So the answer to the first question is yes.
Beautiful. I can wait. That is music to my bloody ears.
It's an open secret, but what you guys don't know is that we have more than one game in development. I'm not going to elaborate any further. I'm like that meme. Says something, refuses to elaborate further, leaves. That's me.
And do you think any future Fingersoft games will get released onto the console
Yeah,
market?
so about that, maybe. Again, I can't announce anything that's not been officially announced, but we're all console gamers. We in fact, basically, we play...
You can give us a scoop. It's all good. We won't tell anyone.
Oh, yeah, except my boss when he finds out. And
I'll bleep it out.
my
It's
hands.
okay. I've got the bleep button worked out perfectly.
No, see...
You're good at bleeping things out, aren't you, mate?
We all play video games. Like, we all play console games. We all play PC games. We all play mobile games. We play everything. And so yeah, we talk about it all the time. Like, for example, I'm always like, Hill Climb Racing 2 needs to be on Switch. Why won't anyone listen to me? And the problem is making video games is really hard and also really expensive. And it's not like as easy as going like opening up the code base and going, highlight all, Control-C, Control-V. There's your Switch game. It doesn't work like that. And it requires an allocation of resources. And the biggest resource is people. And we don't have that many people. So it's really difficult and really slow to do that. And every time if we were to make a game for Xbox or PlayStation or Switch, we'd either have to hire new people to do that and train them up, which takes time, or we would need to divert time and resources and people away from other projects. So it's like, it's a real balancing act. And this applies to every aspect of game development. It's not just the same for us, it's the same for anybody. And like console games require a huge development sort of upkeep. People who make Halo, I think there's more than 500 people who work at 343. So yeah, it's a matter of scale. But yeah, we do talk about it, and we did have previously Hill Climb Racing working on PC, and we have actually made an internal version of Hill Climb Racing 2 working on Xbox. We got it running on an Xbox One. You guys won't see that, but we have played it locally on a TV in the office.
Wow. And how was that? Was it significantly different to the phone,
No.
or how was it like? How did
It took a little
feel?
while
Like,
to get
did it feel different?
the
or-
controls is the hardest part. Like it took a little while to get used to. Like some of us, it was like, do you push like the B button and left on the D-pad for the Xbox controller, or do you make like the triggers go? And basically the triggers sort of felt like the best comparison to the analoging of the mobile screen. Touch the left side, touch the right side. But yeah, it feels about the same. I mean, have you ever like Chromecasted your phone to the TV just to see what Hill Climb Racing 2 looks like on the big screen?
Yeah, it annoyed my family no end.
We have like a projector. Like we have this auditorium in the office that seats like, I don't know, maybe 60 to 100 people, and it's like got a huge projector. And yeah, we've definitely projected the game up onto there more than once.
Gee, that would be fun. I wish I lived around your area. I'd come there for movie nights.
Oh yeah, we
and
have
everything.
movie nights. We used to have like we used to have pre-COVID, and hopefully again soon. But we had like game nights. Like I remember one time we were having like a late night game night, and I was in a different room. I was playing Sea of Thieves with some friends. Really fun game, by the way. Recommended if you've got some friends to play with and want to go role playing as pirates. But yeah, we were playing Sea of Thieves in a different room, and I left the room and I went to go use the bathroom and get a drink. And as I was walking down the hallway past the auditorium, I could hear this like terrible ruckus. Like there was this noise and swearing. It sounded like one hell of an altercation, you might say. And I peeked into the thing, and they had Smash Bros on the projector screen, and everyone was just swearing at each other playing Smash Brothers. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Not gonna lie.
So is there a
Yeah,
popcorn
right.
machine?
No, we don't have a popcorn machine. Actually, we have a lot of toys.
Ooh,
We have
That's
like
an idea.
a racing simulator that you can sit
Can't
in.
have a movie screen with 60 people and not hot buttered popcorn on demand.
You're right. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna bring this up in the next meeting. We are really missing that. But yeah, we have like a racing simulator which you can sit in, and it like moves and stuff when you play. And we have a ping pong table and pool table and like all kinds of fun stuff.
I'm
But no
hearing you,
popcorn.
but no popcorn. I'm here.
Yeah, no popcorn. I'm like, how has this been overlooked?
Look, if we have to, we'll make a collection. All right, we'll organise a collection.
I think we can handle it, guys. No problem. We don't have to do that.
We'll start a GoFundMe.
I'll start a GoFundMe.
Hey, Reese, does everyone at Fingersoft get around on a monowheel?
Sadly, not.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Although scooters are pretty popular. Electric scooters.
Is that the next vehicle?
No, but that's a good idea. I've never actually heard anyone bring that up as an idea. That's a great idea.
Well, you just brought it up.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as an idea for a vehicle in the game, I don't think anyone's ever said electric scooter.
We really need to be able to play the snowboard and bathtub more often. I love that.
Well, they're coming this month.
Yep, of course they are.
Actually, there's a cool new event that hopefully is coming out this month. Actually, I'd like to talk to you guys about. I can't promise it's
please.
coming out because it's like super experimental tech, and this is going to be down to the No Fun Police, otherwise known as QA or Quality Assurance. The idea is basically that there's presents. It's Christmas themed, and there's presents strewn throughout the map. And each time you hit one, you open the present, and you get assigned a random tuning part that was inside the present that you can't take off. And you can have multiple tuning parts, and it is absolute chaos, but it should be a fun public event.
So do you mean they overwrite each other? Like if you get more than 3, it starts overriding it? Or do you mean you get more than 3?
I've seen 2 variants. One where you can only get 3, and then the first one drops off, and then one where you can have as many as you can pick up.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Wow, that is going to be. That's going to be.
And like, there's
unbelievable.
others like, I'm not sure how the final product's going to go because it's still in development. Like, will they be fixed in a like, will like the first present be a start boost and the second present be a jump shocks, or will they be always completely random, or like we're not sure yet.
please don't
we're
put a
working on
start in a present
That would
that's
be
like
an
that'll
epic
be a
troll.
waste.
I know. That's why I said it. But but yeah, it's a funny idea. It completely breaks the game. It's terrible. It's uncompetitive. But it's stupid fun, kind of like the last event that we had before. So
I have to ask. You've said the words. It completely breaks the game. Is that a technical term? Is that something that?
Oh yeah, sorry. Forgive me if I use too much jargon. But like, when I say breaks the game, I don't mean like physically breaks it and causes it to crash and not work. But I mean, each game sort of has a game design, a game overview, like a way that it should work. And like, for example, if the cars could fly, I know that they sort of do anyway, kind of,
Yep.
if you play the game right. But if they could just fly, like just freely, that would break the game, because you could just fly to the end and override the entire point of the game, which is to navigate the track.
Yes.
If there was no collision with the track, then it would break the game. And so in this sense, like being able to apply 20 different tune parts for no reason, it's unplayable almost. It's awful, but it's also funny, so it's like it's considered uncompetitive, and it considers like it breaks the game structure, if that makes sense.
Yep. No, that makes a lot more sense.
Like quite often, when it comes to discussing like game features, like a dev will say this is broken when referring to like a feature or a tune part. Like for example, what is it? The hot rod. You notice the hot rod's missing a few parts. They
Yes.
weren't missing originally, and then we were like, this is broken. Like you could turn the hot rod basically into an airplane,
into a rocket
supercharged
with
airplane.
wings.
Yeah, it just didn't work, and so like that feature was considered broken, and the only way we could fix it was to remove it, because it just doesn't work.
And that would be probably overcharged turbo, fuel boost, and the actual full extent of a flamethrower at the end,
Mhm.
all happening at the same time, and you'd be launched into outer space. And that's
It
what
was
you're
the
talking
jet
about.
engine basically.
Yeah.
The beta testers did have some fun with it, but yeah, no.
Damn.
Does anybody else have any questions for Reese before we move on to our viewer questions?
I'm happy with
No.
what I've asked.
Yep, me too.
Yeah,
Mori?
no, I mean we could probably go on for a long time, and we should probably get into some of these questions.
Yeah, we've got a lot of
Yeah,
community
don't
questions
overlook
in
your
here.
audience.
Yeah. All right. So what we'll do is we'll ask a few questions from the audience, and after that we'll have a little further discussion with Reese at the end, and then we'll say our goodbyes from there. I'll start off. I've got a question from AUSNZ Amy. Massive shout out to Amy, one of our most beloved players in the server. From Amy, as someone who works at Fingersoft, Reese, rather than just an ordinary player, what things do you think should be added, removed, replaced, or changed in the game? Yeah, she's just coming from a player perspective.
Hi, Amy. That's one hell of an open question. There's a lot of things that I like and don't like about the game. Obviously, we have to remove every vehicle that's not the bus. That's the first thing that we have to do. Then we need to buff the bus. I think that's also highly imperative. Then what we need is like at least another 30 to 50 skins for the bus. That would be really, really nice. But in all honesty, there's lots of things that I like and dislike. It's hard for me to even know where I start. Like for example, I don't like adventure very much. I don't have the patience for it.
You've just won me over big time. I'm with you. On
Adventure
that
is like a huge part of the game, right? But I just can't stand it. I think it's boring.
Yes.
And like
Yeah,
I
me
don't have the
too.
patience to memorize the whole map and or to play for that long. Like I'll play a game on my Xbox, like I'll play an RPG on my Xbox for like 8 hours and forget that time has moved. But if I play Hill Climb Racing in a single session, like for too long, I'll start to get really, really bored. And I think it's just because I've conditioned myself to be Hill Climb Racing is a game that I play in between doing things. It's a mobile game, so you use the toilet, hill climb racing time. Got to wait 15 minutes for a bus. Perfect. That's enough time for at least 3 or 4 cups. That kind of thing, right? And the adventure time is like a really huge investment. Did you see the video from the guy who got the first ever 100-kilometer run?
No, I fell asleep twice.
It took an hour. I was like, bro,
Yeah.
like it's.
I think that was Eric. Massive shout out to Eric.
I rewrote myself in that time.
Exactly right.
Sure
So,
you
but
did, bro.
So it's like I said, it's hard to even know where to begin because I have my own opinions about these kinds of things, right? But I like to play the boss that is known. I prefer time trials. Like I'm not even like a huge cups fan. I like running a level like in time trial over and over again and finding like that perfect line. Like to me, somehow that is appealing on some sort of monkey brain level.
You should join in on our daily races.
I should.
You understand what our dailies is?
Yeah, a lot of groups have daily races, and you guys explained them in your first episode on the podcast.
Yeah, first episode. Yep.
But yeah, it's that sort of stuff is more appealing to me. I would personally love to see, like, if I could have whatever I wanted, if I could just like force the developers to do whatever I wanted. I would love to see like a couple of different vehicles. I can't even think of any right now, but obviously like there's a few stupid, crazy ideas in my mind that just do and don't fly. I would love to see more focus on the community aspect. Like I would love us to have more options in the team. Better team chat. I know that the chat sucks. It is known. We are aware. That sort of stuff. I want more community features. I'd like more like I'd like to be able to like connect with Discord or Twitter or Facebook or whatever and have more of that sort of stuff. Community manager showing his bias. I know. But I just love the social aspect of video games. Always have, always will. This is kind of a dream job if you didn't know. And yeah, so more of that, and just more. And I mean, we are working on more. There's always more coming, which is the best part of working for a games developer, especially if you're a fan of the games. Like, it would suck to work for a games company and you don't like the games that you make. But I was a Hill Climb Racing fan before I joined this company, so I was just like, hell yeah, let's go. So yeah, there is always more coming. If I could do anything, it would just be more of everything all the time. I would hire like 200 more people and just churn out new tracks and new vehicles and new everything like every week. But that's just not humanly or physically possible unless you guys start spending more money. So go buy more things, please.
More VIP.
We really need to get that GoFundMe going.
Popcorn maker, here we come.
You've seen through me.
All right, who's next? Go for it.
Yep, I've got a question from Fishy. I don't know. It's FXSHY.
His pronunciation's very hard, isn't it? I'm with you. I struggle with it.
I'm just going to say Fishy.
That's a shout out to him.
What's your favourite part
Fishy,
about
Fishy.
working for Fingersoft, and what roles do you play?
Hi, Fishy. I get paid to play video games.
That's your favourite part.
That is absolutely my favorite part.
And you play many roles, as you said earlier.
Yeah, I kind of answered this question a little bit earlier before.
Yeah.
But my favorite part of the game is my favorite thing about working for Fingersoft. Actually, like other than you get paid to play video games if you work for any video game company. But my favorite thing about working for Fingersoft is my co-workers and the way that we actually run the company. The company's organizational structure is very flat. So, like, obviously I have a boss, but like he doesn't tell me what to do. Like, basically each team is sort of trusted to know what their job is and to know they're going to do that job better. So our bosses are more like facilitators. I'm like, hey boss, give me some money. I'm going to do this. And he's like, okay, sometimes. But like, so working for Fingersoft in that way is really freeing. And also, I love you guys, the community. Like this little podcast that you guys made, stuff like this. I can't believe we have this level of community interaction around a mobile game, which is, inherently something that you play while taking a dump. Like 99.99% of mobile games have zero community. They're just sort of thought of as disposable. But for some reason, Hill Climb Racing has just brought so many people from all over the world together in so many incredible ways. It's just like hearing your stories.
You know why I reckon it has? I reckon it's Teams has brought us all together.
Well, absolutely. There was already a community beforehand, but Teams just like amplified that by 100. But other games have team play, team modes, but there's just something about what we've made that really just makes people come together. And I'm honored and blessed to get to be your spokesperson, to get to interact with you guys, because while there's plenty of very rude people out there, there is also far more incredibly respectful and interesting and intelligent people out there. Like I spend a lot of my free time talking to the mods and stuff on the Discord, just chit-chatting, just because it's fun. I like you guys.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that about communities, mate. I mean, look, our community in particular, AUSNZ, we've got over 500 people in our Discord. It's interesting what you said that about communities, because it brings people together, and you make life friends out of it. Like I could tell you now, there's at least a dozen or so more people in the AUSNZ server that I genuinely call my real life friends, and I'm more closer with them than a lot of my other mates that I see on a weekly basis at work or any other place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we've grown very, very close. It's just unbelievable. I just can't comprehend that this 2D mobile game has brought us all together.
Yeah.
It's
really humbling, honestly. I mean, I've been obsessed with communities. This is going to be revealing my age, but I've been obsessed with communities since the 90s online, basically when they first emerged, using like MIRC and ICQ and MSN Messenger and that sort of stuff. And I've always been involved in that sphere, which is why I this is like also partly my dream job, because getting paid to play video games is part of the dream, but there are lots of things that you can do in a video game company. But for me, it's always been community and people, because I just find people so interesting. And many of my longest, like lifelong friends I met online and over the years, and like that sort of, I understand that kinship, very, very dearly, very completely. So it's like, that's definitely, I'm there with you. You know what I mean? Like that's like sort of the whole core of the compartment. Core of the compartment? That doesn't make any sense. I'm thinking in Finnish. It's the core of the concept.
Yeah, no, it's funny you said it, mate. No, look, we owe a special media program called Discord a lot of thanks, mate, because without Discord and just community aspect of the game really, really has shone through in the last few years. And it's just personally, like, I know myself a lot, like, we enjoy not only playing the game but interacting. Do you know what I mean? So it's
I really wasn't expecting Discord to take off like this.
I think we do have to thank Fingersoft for bringing out such a crappy in-game chat, because otherwise most of us wouldn't have hopped on Discord.
All according to plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I when I made the Discord was not very popular. It was, but like mostly among sort of like hardcore PC gamers. And I was just like, no, I want to do this because I like using Discord in my spare time. So I'm gonna abuse my position and insert my own hobbies into this game. And then I was just astonished. I continue to be astonished by the adoption of Discord by our community. Everyone just was like, this is a great idea. They just flocked to it. I mean, we have nearly 70,000 members in the official Discord right now. And I can actually see how many Discords follow our announcement channel. And there's 8,000.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
8,000
separate communities following our announcement channel. Like, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, I didn't.
The vast majority of them are under 100 people. So it's just small groups, probably teams of 50.
Incredible. That's amazing, mate. Mori, anyone else you want to have a question from?
I've got a question from Johnny. in brackets FP. I don't know. I don't.
Oh, my man Johnny. Massive shout out
Is that
to
like
Johnny.
the Johnny, or is this a different Johnny?
That is the Fair Play Johnny, the mod at the Fair Play server.
He's asked two parts of the question. I don't get the second bit, but I'll ask it. Does Fingersoft plan to do anything for the Max GP players? And then the second part is, can you ask Reese, do they plan on nerfing the CCEV? I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming you might.
Yeah, Nerf is an industry term. Yeah, you know, like the Nerf toy guns.
Yep.
It came from that because they look like guns, but they fire sort of soft darts. And when you nerf something, in a video game terminology, you basically make it less effective or less powerful.
Oh.
And the opposite, when you increase the power of something, is you buff it.
Yep. That makes sense.
But anyway, the first question, yes. How can I answer that? I mean, yeah, we always have plans, but nothing concrete. And I mean, like, everything we release is for you. I mean, we just released a new vehicle. Like, there you go.
What's
like,
next? What's next?
We just released some new cups. There you go. New adventure mode is coming with this new theme. There you go. Like, everything we release is for you guys.
I think he was meaning specifically the Max GP players, because there's a few people that I know of that have, 80, 90 plus million coins.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, I have the same problem. I've been playing the game for years, and a lot of people who were playing since before Tune Parts have like an incredible glut of coins, but like no scrap. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Basically, what he's asking is if we plan to sort of rebalance the economy or give full GP players something else to do. And the answer is yes, but we're not sure yet. We're working on it. It's coming.
So you're saying that there might be another tab to slide across.
Maybe, but we have tons of ideas. We have so many ideas. If we could implement all the ideas we have, you'd have like 100 updates a week. But the second part is no.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the CCEV.
No, it's not very fast. It's a good adventure vehicle. It can be fast if you use it right.
I think it's very fast, actually.
But it's no rally car in terms of speed and utility. But it's good.
I've been using it in cups for the last month to get used to it, and it's almost pretty maxed. I think it's as fast as a rally car in certain ways.
Yeah, definitely. It's faster even if you use the boost in the right way.
Yep.
Whenever we design a new vehicle, like the easiest way to make a new vehicle would just be to copy the rally car. I just swore. Sorry, you might have to bleep that out. But copy the rally car. That one slipped out. Freudian slip. You can see how I feel about the rally car.
Tell us what you really think.
Yeah, what Reese really thinks about the rally car, caught live on camera. Anyway, so we could just copy the rally car, increase the speed by 5. Boom, job's done. Everyone's happy, right? No, that's boring. We want to make vehicles that are interesting and fun to play for us, because we make the video game for us. And there's like a DJ saying that, like, as soon as you're playing music or not just DJ, but bands, as soon as you're playing music for the crowd instead of yourself, you're screwed. Like, you're no longer doing it right. And the same can be said for video games. As soon as you're not making a video game that you want to play, you're making it at the requests of others, it's not going to be a good game. You get video game by committee. And then you end up with like feature bloat, and no one's having any good times, and it doesn't have a unique identity, and that sort of thing. And so yeah, we try and make we try and make the cars in our video game interesting. The CCEV has this whole new ability that's completely unique and can be used in certain ways to get an advantage, but it's not easy. You have to know how the car works, you have to know the level, you need to know where to use it, and you have to have some sort of level of manual dexterity to do it right. And the rotator is the same. It has the ability to stick to the roof if you do it right. And the hot rod, it it has the overcharging supercharger, which burns your fuel and will explode if you exploit it, but it's really fast if you know what you're doing. You know, that sort of thing.
Yep, agreed. So you're saying design by community would be, bringing back a 90s icon, RoboCop 2.
Oh yeah, it's just terrible. The movie and that idea, it just doesn't work. I mean, look at Star Wars now. It's just designed by committee. It's awful. Sorry if any one of you guys like Star Wars, but it's not good. And new Star Wars, old Star Wars good, new Star Wars bad. I'll go on record.
Let's not turn the podcast into a discussion about Star Wars.
Sorry, but yeah, it designed by committee just never works. There's no passion, there's no love, and it's just soulless.
I actually think, Reese, you're talking to one of the biggest Star Wars fans that we have in Mori.
Sorry, Mori, but like we love our game, and sometimes you don't agree with us, and that's fine. We're never going to get everything right. We're never going to be able to please everybody, but as long as we're happy with what we've made and we're proud to share it with you, that's enough for us. Because you just can't please everybody, and with an audience our size, it's just a ridiculous proposition. So yeah, we like to think of the cars as tools in your toolbox, and this sort of meta toolbox is how each level is a puzzle, and these tools, these puzzle pieces that are the cars, can be used in certain ways to get through the puzzle better. You know what I mean?
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, right. I've got a question from Alex in our server, AUSNZ Alex. Massive shout out to him. Do you know who Simon Plays is? And if you do, how scared are you of his abilities?
Hi, Alex. I do know who Simon Plays is, and not very. Bring it on.
Are you saying that you're better at the bus than Simon Plays is, Reese?
Probably not, but I am pretty good. Although I've talked about this before, that like I have to be careful, because if I really apply myself, like if I want to. And this is going to sound like I'm bragging, but it's the truth. If I want to, I can get top 10, top 5 on any bus time within 20 minutes or so. I like the bus. I'm good at it. But the problem is, whenever I make a world record, people pay attention to my gamer tag. They watch what I'm doing. And there's been times when I've made a really nice world record, and like even one of the devs came into the office and was like, wow, man, check out this score. What the hell? You just beat everyone in the rally car. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. And then I refreshed and it's gone, because like people will just be like, they just rush there trying to beat me, like, because it's like the prestige of putting Reese in his place is too strong. So I'll never hold on to a record for very long. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to try.
That's exactly what happens in our server. Someone gloats about a record, 5 minutes, it's gotten beat.
I mean, I played the bus on the new tracks. Just to get the bus on the board, because no one had played the bus yet. And I've got like Fuel Fire in the server. He's really good with the bus as well. And he's like, he took notes of my times, and he's like, 22, 33, 35, easy. Like that's the benchmark to beat. And I was like, you can't just start with beating my times. You have to he hasn't even played the level, and he already knows what time he wants to pass.
Yeah, he's a great player. Massive shout out to Fuel Fire. He's a very good player.
Yeah, he's really good. Like I said, especially with the bus.
Just you're talking about the new maps there for a sec. Do you want to just run through the maps that are coming out in the next few days? So is there any specialty with the maps in regards to, because we saw in the Vershack video, something flings you into the air. It's like a cannon or something.
It's a confetti cannon.
Yeah, right.
The new theme, it's the Overspill fun rig. It's been slightly edited. It was previously the Overspill oil rig, but it's been repurposed into a theme park in sort of hill climb racing fashion. And yeah, it's got like all these sort of busted and defunct and run down sort of theme park adaptations, I guess, into a racetrack. I really like it. I think it's one of our coolest and most creative themes yet. And there's a lot about this theme that you guys haven't seen yet, because you haven't seen the adventure mode. I'll give you a little hint. The adventure mode's coming next year, probably either January or February. I don't know yet. These adventure modes take a long time to make. it has 3 distinct biomes depending on how deep or high within the theme park you are. That's a hint for you. But yeah,
Wow. Lots
yeah,
look
and
forward to.
it has all kinds of crazy stuff. It has like swinging ships and all kinds of like hazards and things related to whichever level of the theme park you're in. And the levels you can see are on the ground level, so you can see like you know, Ferris wheels and other kinds of like normal.
You could use those to your advantage depending on what vehicle you're playing with. The vehicle can like go underneath it, on top it, use it to ride it or something
Exactly.
like that,
The confetti cannons are a really easy one because they will, if you hit them at the right, well, when you drive over them, they'll explode and send you flying upwards. But like if you're in like a heavy vehicle, it can really mess you up. Like if you hit one of them in the bus, it can like snap the bus in half from below. So
Right.
using those will be, will be key to getting world records. I think we have placed them strategically.
So that's very similar. What you're talking about, the different levels, that's very similar to the factory. Depending on which track you take, whether you go up and up or down and down or stay in the middle of the factory, there's lots of different paths you can take.
Yeah, it's similar, but when I said it's similar in design, but it has what I call distinct biomes, and a biome is like a world theme, I suppose.
Okay.
So
This sounds more and more interesting.
you know how in the Rust Bucket Reef, when you get deeper, it gets darker and changes the background and everything like that.
Yes, and the
Similar,
whale,
but more extreme.
more extreme. Okay.
It's going to be cool, trust me.
Yeah,
Because
right,
that
okay.
big whale that swims past me in the Rust Bucket Reef scares the shit out of me all the time.
You don't like the giant like eldritch
It's the-
monstrosity in the background?
The eye. I always follow the eye, and then I crash because I'm looking at the eye and not where the car's going.
I've got a question here from Daspo.
Hi, Daspo.
It's a 2-part question. He says, "Hello, Reese. 2-part question. Part 1: what is it like to work with community servers such as Tractor Wars or the Hill Climber Squad to create public events based off the community suggestions? And 2, how do they compare to other public events that are not community built? And can you shed any light on what the data says about these types of public events?"
Reese, before you answer that one, I actually think what he's asking is, what was it like to work with me, Daspo?
Yeah, that's what I was actually
Yeah.
gonna come in and say.
Yeah.
Like it's always a pleasure to work with you, Mori. Mori. I mean, I'm just screwing with you, Daspo. Daspo's great. He's a good lad. But yeah, so the first part, it's fantastic. Obviously, it's really fun. I love getting the community involved in this kind of stuff. I wish I could do it more often, but it's just not possible. But these guys who run these sort of dedicated events, they know these vehicles better than anyone, even better than us, I would say. So what I do basically is I have gone to these servers and I'm like, design your ideal event. Like, tell me what you want. Which tracks are amazing? What fixed tune levels should they have? What tuning part options should they have? Stuff like that. And they always come back with like a whole jumble of options, and then we sort of go through them and test them, and then we're like, yes, 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 no, yes, no, 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 yes, and that's how they come apart. So it's great, and that's basically how they work as well. So I kind of answered a bit of part 2 as well. It's a little bit easier in some respects, but also a little bit more challenging. It's easier in that basically you guys will design the parameters for us, and we just have to apply them. But it's also harder because I have to talk to you guys and figure out which works and what doesn't and what we can do. And I hope to do more of those in the future as well. Bus Wars.
I would love Bus Wars.
So what I'm hearing is someone needs to be running a Bus Wars community, and they've got a good chance of getting a community event out of it.
Hey, Mori, I reckon you have nothing to do with your life at the moment. You could fit that in.
Easy.
I'd even help mod. I've got one from Creepers. Big shout out to Creepers. He's probably one of the nicest guys on the server. A bit timid, but one of the nicest guys on the server. He's done a lot of work with people doing adventure, and he's very fast in team events as well. But here's the question: how much time do you spend playing the game in a day or week? Time actively spent on Discord? Oh, he says a less serious question. Do you still go for Australia in any sports? Who do you go for when Australia play Finland?
Hi, Creepers. Part one, it's hard to answer because it varies. Play at least a little bit every day, more or less. Some days I don't. It's hard to say. You know, it depends on my time, but definitely less than an hour every day that I do play, unless there's like some new feature that requires like extensive testing. I don't play a lot on my public account anymore. I mostly play like internal builds to help test the game, because that's more valuable for the company, and also it's more fun for me because I get to play with the new stuff. But yeah, so that's the answer basically. I don't know my total hours played or anything like that, but it's a lot. I have been playing the game for many years. I don't follow Australia in any sport because I don't follow any sports. I am a gigantic nerd, so anything outdoors frightens and confuses me. And also, Finland and Australia don't play each other in any sport because Australia plays like cricket and rugby, and Finland plays ice hockey and rally.
Yeah, we've got a couple good rally car drivers here, but I think football would be we'd play Finland at football.
Finland's terrible at football. Terrible.
There's no grass; it's all ice.
My girlfriend is from Portugal, so I am actually contractually obligated to say that football is the best, and the best team is Portugal.
You're not sleeping on the couch tonight. Well done.
Nope, I got that sorted. Got that one in there. Nearly missed it. But yeah, no, I'm not a big sports guy, unfortunately, which is weird for someone who really loves racing games and always has. But yeah.
This is one from the Bell, so he's a good young player in our server. Will you come back to Australia for a holiday or something?
Well, hi, Debal.
He came first in one of the FSGPs.
Oh yes, very nice. Well done. Maybe. I'm not really opposed to it, but it's a very long way and it's very expensive. And I fly a lot for this job, and I hate flying. I really do. So it's like, I mean, Europe is so close. But well, I don't think I'm never going to set foot in the motherland ever again, if that's what you're asking. I'm sure I'll come back one day. Maybe we can have a Hill Climb Racing Australia meetup one day.
Oh, definitely.
We actually have a Victorian meetup for the Hill Climb Racing players.
Yeah, our little upstates get together, Reese, every now and then. I think New South Wales have had one, Sydney and specifically have had one greet and meet. I think Victoria have had
we've
one.
had 3.
I'm not sure about the other states. Well, you've had 3.
I love hearing about these. Make sure you guys send me the pictures whenever you take them, when you have these. I love that sort of stuff. Tag us on Twitter or something if you have some sort of meetup.
We will.
It's always good to see. I remember, I think they were from Bulgaria. I hope they're from Bulgaria, otherwise they're going to be really mad at me. But they had a meetup and they shared a bunch of pictures, and they all had like custom shirts made for their team. And I was just like, that's epic.
That's
awesome. The
awesome.
problem with Australia is it's huge. A lot of people don't really understand just how huge it is. But
the biggest island in the world.
If the people from Perth want to come to a meetup in Sydney, it's a bit of an ask.
Well, yeah. Well, it's funny you say that. There is talks a few months ago. There is talks that we will have a huge big AUSNZ meetup one day in a selected city, and I hope that turnout gets a great turnout. But that's in the works. That'll probably be next year or the year after, I'd say.
Make sure you guys let me know when you do.
We'll invite you.
Absolutely. We'll.
That's what I was implying. Yes.
A company trip.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, first class all the way.
I feel seen.
We need to start a second GoFundMe page now.
Yeah, I'm gonna need multiple.
I've got a question from RF. RF in our server. He's a Kiwi, one of our many great New Zealand racers. Do Fingersoft employees have the opportunity to work from home like many others in Finland do? Who decides the tracks, modes, vehicles used in team events and how? And are they decided by drawing out of a hat or some other particular formula?
Hi, RF. Yes, I'm actually currently at home right now while we record this. Basically, it's like, obviously, during the whole COVID lockdowns and everything, when that was happening, everybody was working at home. But because we all work with technology, it's relatively simple for us to either work at the office or at home, where we're all flexible. And it's like, because I mentioned that there's like a huge amount of trust and also responsibility within the company, it's up to us to decide whether we're needed at the office or not. Like, so we're sort of expected to be where we are needed to be, if that makes sense. And the person who designs the team events is a worker by the name of Andy, and he designs all of them himself. No, he does not have a hat. He might have a dartboard though, but no, I'm kidding. Basically, he has his own methodology, but he designs events that he thinks are fun or challenging. He's a bit of a troll, so if you guys have like one particular pain point, he might be like, sounds like a good idea to base an event around. But in general, that's where Rage Climb events came from, by the way. But in general, what he does is just, at least from what I've seen, obviously I'm speaking on his behalf, he just sort of picks a theme. Like, he's like, I'm going to make an event that's based around time trials or whatever. And often the theme is reflected in the name. It'll normally be a pop culture reference, but it's there. And then he'll sort of think of a bunch of cars that might be fun, that might be fitting, that might be really challenging, depending on how he's feeling. And then he'll sort of, like, he always sort of wants to make a way that it's you have to think, you have to sacrifice. The whole way Teams was designed was that you have to pick a car, and you're never going to have the ideal car for every situation. So there's always sacrifice, and there's always some sort of high-level strategy involved in how you pick which car for what event, etc. And that turned out really well because people share all their ideas all the time. And yeah, he just basically works in that direction and plays them 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 until it's all the way up until the last second, basically, and then out they go.
I've got one more question. This is from Jolly Zeno. What goes into the design of a skin? How long does it usually take? And have you ever screwed one up?
Hi, Jolly Zeno. A lot goes into the design of a skin, actually, more than you'd think. First, we have to figure out what vehicle it's for. And we have to figure out, like, if it's, like, how can I say this? Like, it's not just a case of, like, opening up Paint Shop and, like, just, clicking the eraser tool and wiping everything clean and drawing a new one. Because, these vehicles have skeletons, they have physics attached to them, so we have to figure out, if we're going to, they'll do like some sketches for ideas that they have normally around a theme, or like, for winter, it's like, okay, let's design a Christmas skin, or Halloween, okay, we have to design a spooky skin. And sometimes they just design whatever they feel like, maybe one of the artists watched Blade Runner and they're like, I'm in a cyberpunk mood, and they'll start drawing cyberpunk. And another artist is like, I watched Disney last week, I'm going to draw Disney. And they'll basically decide which ones they like amongst themselves and how it goes. And then they try and figure out a way that it'll work, and for what vehicle, and how it'll work, and like even deeper discussions of when we can sell this, when we can add it to the game, what ranking it is. Is it epic? Is it normal? Is it legendary? If it's legendary, how much can we charge for it? Are we having a vehicle skin being paired with a player skin, or is it just a vehicle skin on its own? All these kinds of things. How old is the vehicle? How popular is the vehicle? There's a reason we don't make many skins for the motocross, because more of you need to race the motocross, stuff like that. This is a ton of work that goes into it. And then there's the actual drawing of it. Normally there'll be a whole ton of revisions, a whole ton of like testing and programming and everything like that. And it gets to us, and then we do the marketing. We make the marketing for it. We try and actually, make it appealing to you guys and sell it, and then out it goes. It's a process, and it can take a long time. It's never ever quick. I would say the minimum turnaround, like the absolute fastest it could be, would be a month. But that would be like rough. And no, we've never messed up a skin. Well, I guess there might have been like a visual error here and there, or I think maybe once or twice, like a tuning part was like placed in a spot that like obscured part of the skin, and we had to move the tuning part a little bit. But we've never actually screwed up a skin. No.
Well, just speaking on skins, because skins are quite rare and everything like that in regards to, you know, some of the various skins that people are trying to get from legendary chests and so forth. Would you ever consider one day buying skins from the shop, or in regards to not just the shop, but buying skins from gems, coins, or just flat out purchasing a skin just by going through the app store?
Oh, you mean like having an actual skin shop?
Yes.
Well, yeah, like a skin shop, or just something like you could just buy out of using your coins or your gems, or just straight out purchasing a skin instead of kind of like earning it through a legendary.
I mean, the answer is yes. Obviously, that would make us way more money. And also, if I had my way, like if I could wave my magic wand and become a god of programming, that would be one of the things that we have actually, because I want that. I have to deal with a lot of complaints from you guys, or requests as well, about I miss this skin, I want this skin, that sort of thing. It's a technology issue. It's very complicated, and basically it's almost impossible without a huge redesign and reprogramming of several sort of fundamental things, because this game is old and it is built on an old skeleton, and there is just some things that you cannot change when it comes to the programming of an old system that's also built on another engine. It's built on the Coco's 2D engine, which is not even made by us. So it's like there's only so much we can do without reprogramming the entire game.
Yeah,
So
wow.
Basically, it's something we want to happen, and it's something that we've been trying to get working for years, but it's not easy, and it's not looking like it's going to happen anytime soon. But don't give up hope. We have been working on ideas for a very long time. It would be nice to have it.
Fair enough.
I suppose.
HRC free anyone?
That's the easy way out. But we have learned so much from Hill Climb Racing 1 to 2, and we have learned so much from Hill Climb Racing 2 that hopefully our future games completely avoid many of the mistakes we have made in the past. Hopefully. I'm sure we'll make new ones.
We've gone through quite a bit tonight, and I reckon it's probably about time to wrap things up, guys. Mate, just before we wrap things up, thanks so much for coming on our podcast. First and foremost, Reese, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you tonight, to get to know you, to ask you questions. I think I speak on behalf of all of our hosts here tonight that it's just been absolutely magnificent. Couldn't thank you enough for coming over and talking with us tonight.
Oh, you guys give me too much credit. The pleasure is all mine. It's been an honor to be here. Thanks for letting me take part in your little community. And yeah, it's been fun. I had a great time.
Yeah, we're going to need to apologise to everyone listening for going so long.
Yeah, we've been talking for a very long time. I'm really glad that you're wrapping things up, because my voice is on the edge of death.
Yeah, yeah. No, we're definitely going to wrap things up. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Eva and Mori for and also Alpha, who had to leave earlier in the night. He had to go to sleep, mate, because he's got an early start in the morning. But thanks, gents. It's been a pleasure, and
guys, it's like I said, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, wow, what an episode.
Thanks for having me on as well.
Always welcome.
Yeah, sure. I basically hogged this podcast because I was like, nah, I'm calling my Australian privilege. I gotta help out my my fellow Australians back in the homeland and jump on in here. But he'll definitely be up for round 2. SJ is actually from Finland as well, so you can ask him some very Finnish questions if you want to.
And we'll hear a very Finnish accent.
Actually, SJ's English is pretty good.
I'll be asking him about the Dudesons, that's for sure.
You know, they did promo work for us.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, they made an advertisement for Hill Climb Racing 1 for us. Or was it Hillclimb Racing
wow.
too? No, I can't even remember. It's on our YouTube channel, I think. Like they did a stunt with like they did a neck flip in real life.
I've seen that. That was hilarious. In a
Yeah.
Suzuki Jimny. That was hilarious.
Yep. That's the one.
Classic Dudesons. They're a hilarious.
Yeah,
Bunch.
I didn't get to work with them. That was before I joined the company, but apparently they're cool dudes.
Yeah, that was absolutely hilarious. I was at one stage. I think I had to turn it off. I had to pause it because I couldn't open my eyes for long enough through the laughing to actually continue watching. It was that funny. I'm just like, they're not going to do that, are they? Oh, they just did that. Oh, that's bad.
No, they just did it. Oh man, yeah, they're a classic. They're great. Now look, guys, terrific episode. Sorry for everybody that we've gone for way over time, but I mean it is a special episode. I mean, not every day you get Reese, the boss man himself, come on the podcast.
Yeah, keep saying that.
And it's just it's been an ultimate pleasure to have you on, mate. And you're welcome back anytime.
And don't forget who's coming on next week. Or next in 2 weeks.
Mori, do you want to go for it?
Well, yeah, it's actually someone who's been part of the community right from the start. They've had a huge input into a lot of stuff, and they've helped a lot of people within the server, and that's the Muzz Man, or Muzz, as he's always called.
Beautiful. We look forward to having Muzz on the show. Lots to talk about with him, I'm sure. And just a couple of little hints for the guest after that, which I know who it is. He's a bit controversial. He likes to voice his opinion, and he's probably the most passionate person that I know. His name starts with D. That's all I'll say.
Not to give it
You're
away.
really bad at this.
All right. Not to give it away or anything, but you have to give it away because he's a legend, and we can't wait to see him in about a month's time. Thanks, guys. Great to chat to you, Reese, and we'll talk to you in the future.